Alright, so here we are after testing out our blue-white Steal Your Stuff deck.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what did you think of this deck, Abby?
Well, I mean, I thought it was okay.
Okay.
It won. When it won really well, but when it lost a lot.
That's what you say about every deck.
Right, but this one, it was it was a lot less than the other decks. Like this deck, you really had it was really bad against aggro, and you had to really have to be lucky with your opponent.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this deck is not very good against aggro. Even with the additional support of timely reinforcements, it just wasn't enough in some matches. But against any deck that had some sort of fatty, we seemed to do okay. I mean, we didn't get in a bunch of matches against fatties. If you're going to play against a control deck like we just saw against the, the mill deck, just taking any fatty and just beating them with it, even if they're trying to kill you in some completely different way where you're almost dead, worked out pretty well. Just 2 for winning your opponent, nice and old-fashioned, just like Grandma'd do it.
Just like Grandma would do it.
So, what would you rate this deck on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd say just 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
I mean, it was when it worked. Maybe even a 4. Like when it worked, it worked. When it didn't, it totally didn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm probably going to rate this deck a 3.
A 3
right now, because I mean we did win one match, but he wasn't really playing a fantastic deck. I mean, Mill is an okay archetype, but it's not fantastic, and that was our only win. But I do think it has some room for improvement, which is why I'm not giving it a 1 or a 2. But again, in a aggro heavy meta, I don't think this is a good choice at all. But in a control heavy meta, it might be better. In which case, I might be inclined to give it a 4 instead of a 3. But right now, I'm going to give it a 3 because I think it's poor, but it has room for improvement.
It's got potential.
It has potential, exactly. So, what kind of changes do you think we can make if we were going to want to make this into a better deck?
Well, first, I mean, I kind of don't like the spreading seas.
The spreading seas. Well, those... we need those, though, because against a deck that has manlands, if they figure out what we're up to, then they just don't play any creatures, just play their manlands, and just beat us with manlands. So spreading seas are kind of necessary in that respect.
Well,
I mean, it'd be good to have tectonic edges, but those things are like 3 tickets each right now.
Yeah, this is a budget deck.
This is a budget deck. I mean, if tectonic edges would take this deck from... If it would make or break the deck, having tectonic edges in it, then we would put them in. But since tectonic edges would not... They would help the deck, certainly, but in all the matches we saw, they would not make a difference in us winning or losing. I mean, if we were to do 100 or 200 matches with this deck, yeah, they'd help us a bit more, but I don't think they would make or break the deck here. If you have them, feel free to throw them in. They'd be an excellent addition. But I don't think having them or not having them makes or breaks the deck here. And a few other changes I'd like to go over is I think the deck, the idea is cool, just taking their stuff and using it against them, but I think it's a little too reactive.
Yeah.
I think maybe this is fine as the main board, but the sideboard could use a little help, a little improvement. These Oromancers were okay against the mill deck, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I'd side out maybe 2 or 3 Oromancers. Just put in some sort of fatty.
Like Sphinx of Joral, maybe?
Yeah, you like Sphinx of Joral. That's a good one.
It's a good fatty.
It's pretty cheap. Costs 5/5 Flying Shroud. You can look at the top card of your library. So I mean, you could put 2 of them in the main board if you want. Maybe get rid of a Volition Reins or a Mind Control or a Master Thief and put some of those in the main board.
It's good to have fatty in the main board.
Yeah, even when we were stalling aggro so hard that they couldn't do anything, we still couldn't do anything to hit them back, which was kind of unfortunate. And we got aggro to the late game, but we still just couldn't do anything back. And even just having access to 1 fatty would be good.
Yeah.
In Sphinx of Joral, you can pick them up for like 50 cents. So I think that might be a good addition either to the main board or the sideboard. And also against that Infect deck, where we just got destroyed because we didn't have any instant speed removal, I think taking out maybe some more Oromancers, maybe 1 Ratchet Bomb for some amount of unsummons or Vapor Snags would be a good decision too. I mean, if there's no Infect in your meta, then you might not need that, but it's probably good to have that option in the sideboard, just some unsummons, so you can have instant speed removal. So yeah, that's this deck. Those are some changes you can make if you're interested in playing it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. But for next week, what we're going to do is we're going to be doing something a little different. So you've seen us play 4 decks, 4 budget brews. We had first the green-blue Beastmaster Ascension deck.
Yep.
Then we had the mono-blue Infect deck. and then we had the green-red Destroy Artifacts deck, and now we have the blue-white Steal Your Stuff deck. So out of those 4, just tell us which one you like the best, and if you have any dire improvements that need to be made to the deck, we'd love to hear them, and tell us what they are. We'll make as many improvements as we think are good, and we'll run it through a tournament online, and we'll get it on film and show it to you guys. But in the meantime, we'll be back next time with another deck. I apologize for the intense amount of blue decks. It's just that Mana Leak and Preordain are both really good cards.
Yeah, those are very solid budget cards.
Yeah, very solid budget cards. So, but next week we're going to not have a blue deck, I promise. We'll maybe have a black deck since we haven't had a black deck yet.
Yeah.
So next week we'll have that black deck or whatever deck we have, and then the following week we'll put up the video of the tournament that we took through whichever deck you guys picked. So tell us what deck you want us to play, and we look forward to fixing it up and running it through, and hope we don't get run over by Mythics.
Sounds like fun.
See you later.
See ya.